Welcome to USA War Stories, honoring the real heroes of America's military legacy.
Behind the flag are the stories.
November 1950. As bone-chilling winds whip across the Chosin Reservoir in North Korea, U.S. Marines and Army troops from the 1st Marine Division find themselves in a perilous position. Believing victory was near, they're blindsided when over 120,000 Chinese troops pour across the Yalu River under the cover of night. Surrounded and outnumbered, the Americans brace themselves for a brutal battle in temperatures plummeting to minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. This would become one of the most harrowing survival stories in military history. On the night of November 27, 1950, silence shattered as waves of Chinese soldiers launched a surprise attack on the U.S. positions. Using bugles, drums, and whistles to confuse and intimidate, the Chinese People's Volunteer Army stormed the hills around Chosin. The Marines, caught off guard and vastly outnumbered, fought fiercely in the freezing dark. Ammunition froze, weapons jammed, and frostbite began to take hold. But the lines held barely. By dawn, the brutal truth set in. The Marines were completely surrounded. Chinese forces had sealed off every road and mountain pass leading out of the reservoir. Temperatures dropped so low that morphine froze solid and metal shattered like glass. With no air support, due to overcast skies, the wounded piled up and supplies ran dangerously low. Yet, amidst the frost and fire, the Marines began to dig in for what they knew would be a desperate fight for survival. At the small mountain village of Udamanai, the 5th and 7th Marine Regiments faced relentless attacks from all sides. Wave after wave of Chinese troops surged forward, often at night, using sheer numbers and brutal tactics. But the Marines, using every ounce of grit and discipline, held the line. Despite exhaustion, frostbite, and mounting casualties, they refused to break. Their defense became legendary, a symbol of courage against impossible odds. As the siege dragged on, the cold became as deadly as the enemy. Frostbite crippled hands and feet, and many soldiers froze to death in their sleep. Evacuating the wounded was nearly impossible. Helicopters couldn't fly, and trucks often froze solid. Corpsmen risked their lives carrying the injured through snow and gunfire. Some Marines had to pry frozen rifles from fallen comrades to continue the fight. In Chosin, survival meant enduring both bullet and blizzard. Faced with annihilation, the Marines didn't call it a retreat. They called it an attack in another direction. Under General Oliver P. Smith's leadership, plans were made for a fighting withdrawal to the port city of Hungnam. Every inch would be earned in blood and ice. The motto became clear: retreat, hell. We're just attacking in a different direction. Morale hardened. They weren't running. They were bringing every man home, dead or alive. The breakout began with relentless combat. Marines fought their way through snow-choked mountain passes, ambushed at every bend. Chinese forces attacked from ridgelines, turning the retreat into a running battle. Despite the odds, U.S. forces used superior training, artillery, and airstrikes when weather allowed. Each step forward was paid for in fire and sacrifice. The road to Hungnam was a corridor of death, but the Marines never faltered. At Toktong Pass, a vital mountain choke point, Fox Company of the 7th Marines was cut off and surrounded. For 5 brutal days, just 246 Marines held off thousands of Chinese troops, refusing to surrender. Low on food, water, and ammo, they endured wave after wave of assaults. Their defense opened the road for the rest of the division to escape. When reinforcements finally broke through, only about half of Fox Company could still fight. When skies finally cleared, the roar of American aircraft brought hope. Marine Corsairs and Air Force bombers unleashed firepower on enemy positions, breaking Chinese formations and providing crucial cover. At the same time, daring C-47s dropped life-saving supplies, ammo, food, even winter gear. The sky became a lifeline. For many freezing, starving troops, the sound of engines overhead meant one thing: they weren't forgotten. As the Marines pressed south, Funchalen Pass became the most dangerous stretch, narrow, winding, and perfect for ambush. Chinese forces detonated part of a bridge, halting the convoy. Under fire and freezing rain, engineers built a makeshift replacement using portable bridge sections airdropped by C-119 flying boxcars. With sniper fire echoing in the mountains, Marines inched their way across the repaired span, one truck, one tank, one wounded man at a time. When the survivors finally reached Hungnam, the toll was staggering. Nearly 17,000 Americans fought in the battle, but over 4,000 were killed, wounded, or missing. Thousands more suffered permanent frostbite injuries. Yet despite overwhelming odds and the harshest conditions imaginable, the Chosin Reservoir campaign became a testament to unbreakable spirit and camaraderie. Their sacrifice bought time for the larger United Nations forces to regroup. The evacuation at Hungnam was one of the largest amphibious withdrawals in history. Over 100,000 troops, civilians, and equipment were loaded onto ships under constant threat from Chinese forces. Harsh winter winds howled as Navy vessels ferried the exhausted soldiers away from the frozen nightmare. The retreat was orderly but tense. Every second counted to avoid encirclement and annihilation. Though the battle was a tactical withdrawal, the legacy of Chosin Reservoir echoes in Marine Corps lore as a symbol of resilience and brotherhood. The chosen few endured unimaginable conditions, fought relentless enemies, and refused to give up. Their story shaped modern cold-weather combat training and inspired generations. Today, memorials stand to honor their courage amid the frozen mountains where history was forged in ice and fire. From the Chinese side, the battle was a fierce test of endurance and sacrifice. The People's Volunteer Army faced brutal terrain and freezing weather, fighting a well-trained enemy on unfamiliar ground. Supply shortages and harsh winter conditions took a heavy toll, yet their massive numbers and guerrilla tactics nearly encircled U.S. forces. The battle cemented their reputation, but came at a devastating human cost. After the battle, the Chosin Reservoir lay silent and frozen under a thick blanket of snow. The battlefield was littered with abandoned equipment, frozen weapons, and fallen soldiers for both sides. Rescue and recovery teams faced bitter cold as they searched for survivors and the missing. The frozen ground preserved the harsh reality of war, an icy tomb that told a story of courage, loss, and endurance. Artillery was a crucial lifeline during the battle. Despite the freezing conditions, Marine and Army artillery units relentlessly shelled enemy positions to slow Chinese advances. Precision fire from howitzers and mortars created protective barriers, buying precious time for the surrounded troops. The thunderous blasts echoed across the icy mountains, a deadly chorus against overwhelming numbers. Amid the relentless cold and constant danger, Marines forged unbreakable bonds, sharing scarce warmth by small fires, helping each other through frostbite and exhaustion. Their brotherhood became their greatest weapon. Letters home, quiet jokes, and shared meals in the snow gave fleeting moments of hope. In Chosin's hellish conditions, loyalty and friendship kept spirits alive. The U.S. Navy played a vital role during the Chosin Reservoir battle, providing artillery fire from offshore ships and securing the Hungnam evacuation. Naval gunfire pounded enemy positions, disrupting attacks and aiding the Marines' breakout. As the evacuation unfolded, Navy sailors worked tirelessly, loading thousands of troops and equipment onto ships in freezing, chaotic conditions, helping save countless lives. The Battle of Chosin Reservoir reshaped military doctrine worldwide. The extreme cold exposed weaknesses in gear, tactics, and medical treatment. Lessons learned led to improved cold weather training, specialized equipment, and better preparation for mountain warfare. Chosin's frozen hell became a crucial case study, proving that survival depends as much on adapting to the environment as defeating the enemy. Today, veterans of the Chosin Reservoir battle, known as the Chosen Few, gather to honor their fallen comrades and share their stories. Annual reunions, documentaries, and memorials keep their legacy alive. Their courage in the face of overwhelming odds reminds us all of the human spirit's strength. The frozen mountains still echo with their sacrifice, a powerful testament to endurance and brotherhood. Thanks for watching this episode of USA War Stories. If you found this story of courage and survival at the Battle of Chosin Reservoir inspiring, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a true war story. Drop a comment below to share your thoughts, and stay tuned for more incredible battles from American history. See you in the next video.